like briefly or however in depth or briefly you want, like what is your process? How does it start if you've got a narrative in mind or if you've got a story or like do you start sketching and then change that? And
I don't do any sketch. What happens is I think about it. I'll just think about it. I even line up bed at night, even when I'm watching the TV or even playing guitar, whatever I'm doing, I'm thinking about it, and I'll have a definite story after a wee while, and then after I've got a story, I'll start to think about them images, and then each image for each painting or each drawing that I'm going to do, I'll have it spot on in my head. As soon as I've thought about it, and as soon as I've constructed that image in my head, I don't need to put it down.
When you say constructed, sorry to interrupt, I just want to get, you mean like visualising specifically?
Visualising the composition,
right,
what's
cool,
going to go there,
cool.
what's going to be in the background, what's going to come out there, what's going to be in the left, what's going to be at the top of them. I have that composition to a T in my head. And once it's there, it's like a photograph in my head.
That's
and
it.
Won't
doesn't
go away.
Change. It doesn't.
It
falter.
won't go away. So you know, it's not like, you know, if you sit in bed at night and you suddenly come up with a lyric, you have to get up and write it down. You know, I don't need to do that. I'll have that image in my head.
If you have the lyric or the image that sparks it, that will not change after that.
I have to say, it's not the same if it's lyrics or writing a poem or something. If I do that, I'll definitely
just using that as an example.
I'll definitely write that down. But the images are always there. So as soon as I've got an image, it's in my head. So then I can just start to put down the image straight away onto the canvas or paper. And I'll just do an outline drawing.
Do you put pencil onto the canvas
just
first?
Pencil onto and it'll just be a really kind of simple outline drawing of what I'm going to do. And if it's canvas, if it's a bigger canvas, then I'll do a simple outline kind of paint looking like a black paint line. And then I'll just take it from there. But what happens is, once I've got the image put down, I'll start to paint. And then when I start to paint, I'll think, oh, hold on a minute. I'm going to need to add this because that's in there. Oh, hold on a minute. If I add that, I'll need to add that. Hold on a minute. Somebody else has just popped into the scene.
So that's like this kind of like self-editing, but also creating it as you go, you know, like that's cool, man. That's very interesting.
So if a painting that, like you say, some paintings I'll start with. For instance, I did a painting about like all the Scottish stuff I like. And it was quite a small painting. And I started off, maybe I had 15 different things in there. By the time I finished the painting, I think something like 47 different things in there. And that was just me adding things, thinking, hold on a minute, I forgot about that. I should add that. If I've got a Totty's gone, then I need to have...
I see, that's great though.
I need to have that. So it just develops and develops and develops.
And so that's like, you've started with a sketch, you've put a light sketch down, and then you've started to put in some paint, some colour. Is there still a process of addition? Are you still adding things and changing things before you get to it?
I'll change, I'll omit things as well. You know, I'll get to the point where it's in an almost finished state, but not. And then I'll maybe just take something out completely. Or maybe sometimes I'll take maybe half a painting out and not being happy with that, and then completely change because I've developed it over such
Wow.
I maybe developed over like 3-4 months. If it's a big painting, then I could change like a huge part of it because I've not been happy with that. Or the story's developed to a different place.
That makes a lot of sense because like I've wrote songs and then say I started the song, finished the structure and stuff, but never quite finished that third verse. And say like an example that comes to mind, the boys in the band, and that'll be the boys and girl. My girlfriend Janine's a drummer in the band, so I better say that. We wrote a song about Tiger Woods, the golfer. So. And it was like, is he coming back? And that was the kind of funky kind of hook in it. And then we've got to the point now where he actually has come back again and he's doing well again. So now that there's like the third verse that I didn't want to write because he hadn't done so well at first. It's now there. It's now there for the taking. You know. So I can see how it can change. You start with this particular idea and then the circumstances change, but you think about it differently as you go as well. And you know, that's
I suppose. I mean,
that's cool.
Over the first year pandemic, I was mainly doing commissions. Which is because I had to, because project, for money I needed to do that. But fortunately, because it was the pandemic, a lot of people were furloughed. A lot of people who had decent jobs who didn't have to work were sitting at home and couldn't go out and spend the money.
So was your David Attenborough one? That was a commission? Was that a commission at that time?
That was like, I think that was beginning of last year. That was that commission. So I did loads of commissions like that. Some I enjoyed more than others, I have to say. There's a lot of commissions.
That one's excellent. I love that.
I love doing that because I wasn't really good at doing portraits, and because I didn't do them, not because I didn't have, I just didn't.
It just wasn't a part of your repertoire kind of thing. Yeah, totally.
And I didn't do oil painting portraits, definitely not. So, and I hadn't done a lot of oil painting up to that point anyway. For a while.
Yeah.
And so
what do you mostly use? What's your?
Well, I used to. I mean, I do. It's mainly oil painting now, but it used to be lots of watercolors.
Yeah,
but the watercolors I do don't look like watercolors. They don't.
It's not that watercolor style kind of thing.
It's very, very rich, very, very strong colours.
Pastel-y kind of thing.
No, it's not like that at all. It's like mini oil paintings, really.
Excellent, man. No, that's really cool.
So I was doing loads.
I probably have looked at them. I've just not taken it like as I've looked through your work. I've not taken it into account exactly what's been painted with what. But
sometimes it's difficult to tell some of the watercolors.
Yeah, certainly for me, it doesn't know.
No, just looking at photographs. If you saw them in real life, you could tell because
you can tell with the texture. Yeah,
but
totally.
if you've seen them in photographs, there's some you wouldn't be able to tell at all.
Yeah.
So doing them commissions was great, good and bad, because there's a lot of commissions that I had to say yes to that I thought, I don't really want to do this, but
done it for the
they're paying, they're paying nice money for it, so I need to do it. A lot of portraits with people with the Waynes and stuff like that. But I would never do a. Somebody said, "Here's a photograph of my Waynes. Going to just do a photographic representation." I was like, "No,
you don't."
I was like,
"Tell
me
about
tell me about yourself. Tell me about your family. Tell me what they like to do, favorite toys, things like that." And I'd incorporate all them things.
Why? Sorry to slightly. We'll get back to that in a wee second. But sorry to slightly divert from that. But why are you against? I'm curious about why you're.
Because it's
just doesn't cut the. Just wasn't fulfilling kind of thing.
It's just not fulfilling.
Yeah, totally.
My mind, it doesn't. Like I say, my mind would wander, and I wouldn't interest me.
Yeah,
it doesn't interest me. I probably wouldn't make a very good job of it.
It's like if somebody asked me to do a song at a wedding or say, and they're like, it has to be done exactly in the accent and in the voice of the original, and I just don't work like that at all. The only reason I've been able to keep it going is because I take all the different songs and I kind of make them my own in a way. Do you know what I mean?
It's same with me, and that's the same with me with doing kind of portraits. Then again, I was lucky because people that picked me to do portraits, I'd seen all my stuff on Facebook anyway, or Instagram, so they liked my style, so they were picking me because of that style. So they would say to me, "This is me and my Waynes. This is what we like to do. This is where we like to go on holiday. This is what we." So it'd be like one of my paintings.
So you're getting
with loads of things,
a real background. You're creating an original image for a start. So you're not just taking a photo and then that's a nice photo somebody's taken. Can you paint that photo for me? I can see why that would maybe not be interesting.
So what I'd do is incorporate all the things. So it'd be like a favourite place the family go to, favourite foods they eat, favourite drink, favourite toys. Like I said, anything, loads of things. So I'd end up doing a painting of the family with 20, 30 different things in it.
Right,
that's all connected to them.
Man, totally.
And
that's
people loved that.
So unique and cool, man.
People loved that. I did that for a lot of weddings, like people who were going to get married. People, some of the family would commission me to do a painting of the couple,
right,
as a wedding present.
But and
how style. They met. Like it'd be incorporated with like how they met, things they like, music, the favourite song, thing like that. So
say if they met in Paris or something, like you would maybe feature the Eiffel Tower. But that's just an example of
just stuff like that. So I quite like doing that. Someday I'll do it again. Actually, it was a nice thing to do.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
And it always went down well, I think, because it's a really unique thing to have. After doing lots of commissions, I wasn't doing any of my own stuff for like 18 months, and I really was getting me down. That's why I was doing that, kind of loving the time of Corona, which is the paintings about Corona. I don't need to start doing them, but I was only doing it a little bit at a time, and it really, really kind of started to get me down after a while. So that I need to kind of get all this out.
Totally.
I had all these
the
images.
A lot of that.
The images are building up in my head. Like I say, once I got the image, it's there, and I was kind of building up. And I thought I need to get rid of these now. So
do you think it's fair to say like there's some kind of ominous feelings in some of those ones because and that comes as a direct effect of the times of what was happening and what you were feeling and maybe witnessing, do you know what I mean?
Especially the first ones that were doing there's a lot of ominous. It's all kind of about fear.
So I think if I think I'm thinking of the same one, but then if I think of that compared to like the David Attenborough one, it's just like so radically different. Do you know what I mean? That one's like
that was an exception. That one because that was something. Once she told me about it and she told me what she wanted, and that's exactly what she wanted.
So she's describing it to you. Are you seeing this or are you seeing that result? I could have that and then down here.
As soon as you told me, I made a sketch.
Man, that's magical,
I don't usually do it. I made a sketch. Well, I have to do it for commissions. I have to make sketches.
Yeah.
So people can approve it. So as soon as she did that, I made a sketch the same day and sent it to her, and she said exactly what was in my head.
Brilliant,
as well.
Great.
It's brilliant. I'm so glad. And I painted that, and then I asked if I could make prints of it and made prints for it and just sold loads of prints as well.
So that was a commission, but then you're still allowed to. You still is that? I'm not sure exactly. I like clued up on how the legality works. Who's
it's no legality as well. Basically, the image is mine. As soon if I paint an image, it's mine.
Yeah.
But it's like
even if you paint it as a commission.
Yeah, even if you paint it as a commission,
that's still yours.
They own it. Obviously, they just own it. They own it.
They own the physical. But
what I do
you
is
still own the
I can still
property,
make, but it's kind of it's right. I always ask the person.
Yeah.
If the person
just to keep
really,
it on good terms,
if the person said to me, "No, I don't. I wouldn't do it."
Right.
I wouldn't do it.
Okay.
But 9 times out of 10, the people are going to be happy to do that
because
it also puts the value of their painting up as well.
If
I sold, if somebody sold 50,000 prints of a painting, that painting's going to be worth a lot more. You remember Jack Vetriano, the famous Glasgow artist.
The name's familiar to me.
Yeah, he wasn't famous. He was a famous artist in a way. He painted these very, very, very nice images, nice images.
Very nice
that became very famous because he was very, very wary and wily, and he just made thousands of prints of them. And people, because they were nice, and they looked nice in your living room. They looked nice with the furniture, nice with this, that, and the other. They were nice decor item. So lots of people would buy it.
Oh, so it's became kind of like
his famous one is like it's a couple dancing on the beach.
I think I might
with the umbrella, with the butler holding the umbrella.
Right,
it's a really famous painting, but it wouldn't have been famous if he hadn't sold hundreds of thousands of prints of it.
Yeah.
But that made the actual painting worth much more than it probably should have been.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense.
So when I explain that to people, they'll probably say yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool because that increases their value. It increases the exposure of the work, and it's all very positive. There's no really a reason not to.
Some things that are really personal for some people that I've done that I would never ask them. Even if I'm really pleased with the painting, there's some ones that I wouldn't even put up on I wouldn't fit up on Facebook.